Alright guys, let's talk about the Fuji XM5. I was never planning on making a video about this camera. I wasn't planning on making any videos at all. But I picked this camera up a few days ago, fell in love with it immediately. And the minute I go online, it's just all this lip service, all this smack talk about how crappy the camera is. Oh, it's incapable. Oh, it has no viewfinder. Oh, this camera's irrelevant. It's arbitrary. Why does this camera exist? Yo, I don't think people get the point of this camera. First of all, if you're buying this camera and you're a professional photographer, a professional videographer, this camera is not going to be your main camera. This is going to be like your carry around EDC camera, this camera that you can always have on you so you can capture moments. This is not like your main workhorse camera. That's not Fuji was geared. It's not what Fuji was gearing this camera towards. It wasn't you guys. Let me tell you my use case for this camera. This camera is going to be my life camera. This camera is going to be a camera that I could take some street photography with. I love street photography. It's going to be a camera that I can capture family moments, friend moments with. A camera that I can take with me when I walk my dog, take with me when I go at a coffee shop, just carry around with me everywhere. That's why I bought this camera. Now to give you a little bit of a backstory with me is I currently own the Fuji X-T5, which I will be replacing with this camera. I own the X100V, the X100VI, which I'll talk about this in another video. And I just sold my Ricoh GRX. That Ricoh GR was one of the reasons I picked this up. I found that the camera I had with me the most was the camera I was going to get the best shots on. The X-T5 is a phenomenal camera. The issue with that camera, this camera, I just don't take it with me everywhere. And it's not about just the overall size, it's also the weight. I carry a small sling bag with me everywhere. I think it's under like 4 liters, like nothing huge. And if whatever I can't throw in that bag, 9 times out of 10 is not coming with me on a daily basis. This camera is light as, this is a light camera, okay? I remember when I went to pick this up at the store 3 days ago, I opened the box without the lens, mind you. I'm like, yo, this is like the same size as my Ricoh. And this thing captures killer video. It has Fuji colors, which one of the big reasons I love Fuji over the Ricoh camera I had is I feel like the photos are more ready to share straight out of camera than the Ricoh. Don't get it twisted. The Ricoh took phenomenal photos, but I always need to kind of play around with them a bit. Even the JPEGs, let alone the RAWs, I always had to mess around with them a bit to get them exactly where I needed to share with family, post online, or just keep for myself. I always found that the Fuji JPEGs, once I kind of had a recipe I liked, I could just send, I could just post. I just loved the way it looked. So to have that in this size, this is exactly what I wanted. I'm gonna say this right off the bat. If you are not a professional photographer, let's say you are not looking for this camera for professional use, like you're not gonna take this camera as your only camera to shoot weddings, and you're not gonna shoot a documentary with this camera. Not to say you couldn't do either of those two. Don't get it twisted, right? You put this camera in the right hands, you could do either of those. Plus, like with the whole IBIS thing, like someone who's doing pro video is gonna probably have some sort of a gimbal anyway. Like let's get that straight. This is the camera you're gonna want to pick up, okay? Look at people who have the X100V or the X100VI. Half the cameras I see out there when people are posting, they got when they're for sale, they got 2,000 shutter count, 1,500 shutter count, 3,000 shutter count. I've had my X100VI for 4 or 5 months. I got 7,000 photos on that thing. Most of those people are babying that camera. They don't want to take it out. It's too expensive. I don't want the shutter count too high. I'm in Canada. This camera's about $1,000. In the US, it's under $1,000. I think it's like $700, $800. This is a camera you don't have to worry about shooting a bunch of shots with. Like blam, blam, blam. Just take as many shots as you want. This is like the machine gun of cameras. This thing, at the price it's at, relative to the price of other cameras, this is a camera you could just take with you, take as many photos as you want, learn with this camera, get fun shots with this camera. This is a camera that I plan on using for one of my other YouTube channels. I want to use this camera to capture content. I want to use this camera because it's something that I could set on a table when I go to a restaurant, maybe take some photos, capture some video, some B-roll. This camera is freaking fantastic, okay? There's no built-in flash. It's not that kind of camera. It's not serving the same purpose as the X100. There's no IBIS. But does that not make this a pro camera? If you're a photographer, you need IBIS? Like, bro, like think about all the famous photographers, world-renowned photographers that didn't have IBIS in their cameras. Let's not make IBIS an issue for this camera. Now for video, sure, you want that perfectly stable shot. That's fine. But I'll tell you right now, I threw the 16mm Fuji lens on this, and then I used the digital image stabilization. Yo, dude, it's fine. It's crisp. It's fine. Just get a wide enough kind of field of view. That crop's not even gonna make a difference. Let's not get it twisted. This camera is small. Look at this camera. Look at it. Here's my phone. Like, look at my phone for comparison. Look at my phone. Look at this thing. Tiny, tiny. And people hating, oh, I like what more do you want? Like I got the record button here, and when I'm taking photos, that's set up to my photometry settings, right? I have this front little dial here that has my shutter speed, my ISO. Got exposure compensation right here, film dial if you need it. And you know what the big thing is people like, this articulating screen is so clutch. When I take around my X106 and I'm with my wife, like she wants to take a selfie. Sometimes we're somewhere, she wants to take a photo. We're always using smartphones, which are fantastic, but like on an iPhone 15 Pro, you got to use the back camera anyway, which means you can't really frame yourself up either way. This is clutch. This is clutch. Take them horizontal, take them vertical. Like, I'm telling you, this is a life camera right here. I'm gonna make a couple other videos comparing this with the X106, talking more about the X-T5. But I just wanted to put this out there just because all the hate this camera is getting. Like, what are you guys talking about? Like, what is it that you can't do with this? Like, what's this not? You need a view. Like, I don't even know, man. The Ricoh was sick. The thing never had a viewfinder. I can't count like the time. I don't know what 5 times I probably ever looked through a viewfinder on this thing. Like, that's not what I'm using it for. Like, sure, if you want to really say, hey, look, I want to be in the moment, grab an X-T5. But I'll tell you this whole APS-C is a small camera. That's BS, because that X-T5 is a pretty big damn body. Like, this is kind of what I expected when I got into APS-C cameras. And these lenses just pair up sick. This is like 35 millimeter f2. I got like 23 millimeter f2 lens. This is the kit lens that came with these things. These pair up sick. These are perfect. Now, it's not flat this way. Like, it's not going to fit in your pocket. Neither is the X106. But it's just so light, and like, it's not that high. So you can just throw it in your bag like this. With this pancake I got on here, this is the, what is this guy right here? It's like a 28 millimeter lens. This is one of the pancake lenses. What is this guy right here? You guys know better than me. I don't know. This is a 28 millimeter. I don't know what the number on this, but that's like the full frame size. I throw this on here, even with the lens cap. Like, come on. Come on. Sick. Anyways, that's all I wanted to say. I saw the hate. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna make a video. People are tripping. This is the camera. Yo, you want a camera that you want to take with you everywhere, not think about it, get this camera. Don't even get the X100. If you're gonna baby that shit, like if you like, I got the paper to buy it, but I'm a baby it. I don't want to bring it out. No, don't even get it. Get this. Get this. And the best part is, like, you know what? You date the camera, you marry the lenses. You'll collect the lenses you like. And if you're like, yo, I don't mind carrying a heavier camera that's a little more capable for what I want to do, upgrade later. Get the XT6 when it comes out. Get the X Pro 4 or 5, whatever they're going to call it when it comes out. Get that. You'll have the lenses already. All right? This camera's sick. Go cop it. Highly recommend.